Yes, I know. I'm going to try and go.
So,
Yeah. Perfect. I mean, it's Compass Coffee, so it's very close.
you can come and talk to me.
Yes. Yeah.
It's something.
It's at 8 a.m. Well, they finally collected our trash yesterday.
I mean, I can speak.
But they were combining. Why were they combining it?
Well, you can say, well,
Yeah.
some corner road.
They did. I didn't. They did spray our alley. They didn't salt it. They sprayed it with some.
Did this person get us?
Yes, it was better. I was able to go out there and get some of the stuff out.
They're just walking.
I mean, if our cars can get to the trash.
Try it now.
No, I guess we'll have to live without it. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Because you know I can shout if I need.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to call this meeting to order. It is 6:33, and
Try the microphone.
here, you try it down.
And then,
I hear the noise, but
It's not looking.
it's not doing the thing, so it's okay. I can certainly be heard. Okay, I'm calling the meeting to order, and I guess I will do attendance since not everybody's here yet. You want to do it? Sure. Okay, Rochelle, you want to do attendance?
Okay, ANC 6001,
present.
02, not here, absent. 03,
Present.
04, here. 05,
Here.
06, absent. 07, absent. We have a quorum.
Okey-dokey, thank you so much. I hope everyone's had a chance to look at the agenda. Is anything missing or anything needs to be added to the agenda? We have approval for the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, cool. Did you all receive minutes from the last
Yes.
meeting? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes of the February 3rd, 2015 meeting with corrections submitted to the
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. We welcome Kevin, Commissioner Kevin Chapel. Thank you.
They tell me it's working, so I can
Turn up.
whisper now. Okay, as usual, we will start with the police reports. So whichever officer would like to come up and begin, we'd be happy. Cole Beans, you're my favorite.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Lieutenant Murphy from the 1st District. I'm the PSA manager for PSA 103, which is within the 60 boundaries. A recent 30-day crime stats compared to the same time last year shows a decrease in violent crime, 17%. We had 1 last 30 days compared to 4 same time last year. For this 30 days, we are up 2 assault with a dangerous weapon cases from 2 the same period last year. Our property crime, which consists of thefts, theft from autos, motor vehicle thefts, and burglaries, are down 21% this 30 days. We did have an increase in thefts. We had 20 this 30 days compared to 13 same period of time last year. I'd say a large number of these attributed to the thefts that are occurring at the Walmart and unit block of H, Henry Street Northwest. Pretty much all of those result in an arrest, because we have all 3 officers working there. Overall crime in PSA 103 for this 30 days is down 20%. So, anyone have any questions?
I have one, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
There was apparently a daytime grab and go by a bunch of teenagers the other day. Are you familiar with it at 425 I Street?
That was yesterday afternoon into the evening hours. From what I understand, there was a large group of juveniles
Yeah.
that were in the Chinatown area that were walking, I guess, from what people say, back to Sursum Quarter area, eastbound direction, and there was, the group is believed to have committed a robbery, force and violence, where a cell phone was snatched from an individual, and I think 425 I Street was, there was also an aggravated assault where an individual was beaten pretty badly. He had 4 teeth knocked out, a large laceration under his eye. 1D received several calls for like a 5-10 minute period, different locations, and units responded, and they ended up chasing. The group ran, dispersed, caught several individuals, and we held them there until we were able to conduct a show up with some of the victims. But unfortunately, no one was able to positively identify any one of the juveniles as being the individuals involved.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's from last night around maybe 6 o'clock, 6:30. There's a whole bunch of cars down maybe by L Street and Pier Street. Is that correct?
Yeah, one of the individuals was stopped in the area. He was running through the Sursum Quarter area. He was stopped, and he actually had blood and a scratch on his hand. And when asked, well, how did you scratch, injure your hand? I don't know. I was thinking it was from the assault, but it could have been from fleeing. But yeah, that was one of the individuals that was stopped.
Very cool.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
I was watching the news the other day, and they were talking about problems over at Dunbar. Are you working on those too, or is that something that's solely related to the public school system?
Well, Dunbar is not within the first district.
That's 5D.
It's 5D. Yeah, we stop, the dividing line is New York Avenue. So just in case anyone's wondering, PSA 103, the northern boundary for PSA 103 is New York Avenue. The western boundary is 4th Street Northwest. The east boundary is basically 2nd Street Northeast along the railroad tracks for the Amtrak train. And the PSA goes all the way down just past the Capitol, Independence Avenue, southwest. So it's a pretty large area for 103.
So if you have, Tip, if you have any concerns about Dunbar, I'm in constant communication with Commander Porter to see what's going on over there by Dunbar. So let me know, and I will find out the answer. It's almost daily that we speak about something.
Sadly, she was at our last meeting,
Yeah.
so maybe we should invite her again.
I don't know if there's an officer, a representative from 5D, but
No.
no.
Yeah, not tonight. Let's see him. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Where's my favorite beat guy? There he is. Hiding in the back.
I'm Officer Berlin. I'm from PSA 308. Are you familiar with the boundaries of PSA 308? Everybody here? Is there any questions about that? February 16th to March 1st, we had one aggravated assault in the 1600 block of 9th Street. You guys may have heard about this. It happened at 3:46 a.m. Shots were fired into a vehicle from another vehicle. That vehicle fled. This was on February 28th. Happened on a midnight tour. There was no apprehension in that. We only had one sound of gunshots. That was at 5th and N. There was nothing found, no shell casings. That happened at 3:52 p.m. on February 22nd. We had no robberies, no burglaries. We had one domestic violence assault. Continuing biggest problem is thefts from auto. it's been mitigated considerably. We only had 3. 2 were on 9th Street, and 1 was on 6th Street. So again, if you have visitors, out-of-state plates, that's what they target. Tell them to bring the stuff inside or lock it safely in the trunk. Don't leave it in the hatchback. Don't leave anything showing. Even if people are from DC, just tell them, hey guys, you can't leave it. One of the problem areas that we've had in the past is on Marion Street, right in front. There's sort of like a quasi hotel in the 1500 block of Marion, right on the corner there. And they keep hitting that same area time after time. People park, they're from out of town, they're staying in some sort of some short stay hotel in a townhouse. So, you know, anybody that's in that area parked on Marion Street, tell them to be careful.
What's the quasi hotel on Marion Street?
I don't know what it is, but apparently it's like a bed and breakfast or something like that. It's like a bed and breakfast or something.
Or Airbnb.
But people come from all over the country and park there. They come from Michigan, Connecticut. I've done reports from many different places. So we've been fortunate in 308. We haven't had a lot of issues. Granted, it's been cold, the weather's been bad, people have been inside, so sit tight that the summer's coming and the activity should pick up a little bit. Does anybody have any questions about the area, about Shaw in general?
Yes.
I think there was
I walk very often past the corner of 5th and N, and
Okay.
many times that I'd say 90% of the time there's a car
Right.
sitting there. I understand what's it doing there. I understand
It's
you're
a
sitting there. What's
deterrent.
the presence of
It's
it?
a
I've never
deterrent.
seen them out of the car. I've never,
It's, well,
I'm not offending. I'm just curious what.
No,
the
no,
point.
basically, there's 3 what they call fixed posts, and that's in name only, supposedly. They're supposed to patrol a 1 or 2 block area. 5th and N, 7th and O, and 8th and R. Historically, that's where we've had homicides, sounds of gunshots,
Well, that store.
AWICS, aggravated assaults, you name it. Those are the 3 hot spots in PSA 308, have been for a long time. So that's why the commander has put marked cruisers there, basically 24/7. You'll see one there all day and all night.
And can you give is there any updates on the status of that store? Have they been caught selling anything since that recently?
They're open for business.
So we have behind the stuff, scene stuff happening. There has been some more raid type business going on, but this is a long haul for this store. She's very clever. The person who's behind her must have money, all that type of stuff. So 2 agencies of the government are working on it. That's all I can say.
It's a magnet for trouble
The magnet for trouble.
on 5th and N.
I'm trying to get the residents that live across the street not to go. It is very hard to them. Don't go buy your Coke, your gum, whatever. I don't care. Do not go in there. There's a fear factor in the community, which is very real. Because the owner of the store, that's the drug dealer, the synthetic drug dealer, is actually one of my constituents and lives a block away. So there you go. They all know her. We all know her. So
they did a raid on that house, I believe.
they did a raid on the
Couple days ago.
house.
They did a raid on 5th Street.
5th and 1.
It's like 13.
It was the 13, I think it was 1327 5th.
The
It
raid
a
was on
vice raid.
Friday
Yeah,
night.
Friday night.
Raid was on Friday night.
No arrests.
No arrests.
Well, initially, the call came out that they were going to call for mobile crime to come and retrieve some items, but then that was canceled, and I don't know whatever, I didn't ask.
So what I found out was that there were no arrests, no one was home, and nothing was confiscated. So we're always talking about this store. So Lieutenant Green and I and the government agencies that are involved are doing our best. But it's a very, very long process.
The issues that the different crews have had with each other in the past seem to have settled down. The sounds of gunshots, at least from my viewpoint, are from people coming from outside of the area, seeing somebody on this corner, seeing somebody in a car at a stoplight, and randomly shooting. It doesn't seem like the crews have been beefing lately.
It's a lot quieter on that street.
Yeah.
I live on that street. It's west side, it's a lot quieter than the past.
Apparently some people are getting out of incarceration. A few people have gotten out recently. They're coming back to the neighborhood, specifically in 1730 7th Street, Lincoln, Westmoreland. There's a family notorious family that lives in that apartment building, and I think one of the kids just got out. I say kids, one of the gentlemen just got out, and 2 more are slated to get out this summer. Well, one just got out, it was for murder. He's already out of prison. So.
So the big fear is as this goes on in the next couple of months, when it gets warmer, that there are more people that are coming from outside the area, definitely. It is, you just know.
Right.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Any other questions anybody have, sir?
Yeah, most of the day on Saturday, like from 11 a.m. till about 5 p.m., we had a car with Maryland plates parked out in front of our house having a little pot party in the car.
Okay.
And I figured I'd let it slide that one day, because it was the first day, we all said, et cetera. But did you see a lot of that, or was I just lucky?
Well, the problem that I have is I'm either walking around and they can see me coming a mile away, or they see my car coming with the blue lights. So things, I give a warning. We don't sneak up on anybody the way that we're dressed and the way that we patrol. But to your point, when you see things like that, call 911. That's why we're here. We don't want that in the neighborhood. We want to come and we want to take care of that problem for you. So don't feel hesitant to call us. We're not that busy that we can't answer. It takes 2 or 3 minutes to clear that radio run, to go and investigate the trouble and go and do what we need to do. And we also want them to know that people are watching them. So if you see it and you call and we show up, I'm always right around the corner. They'll tell you I'm everywhere. They'll know that I'm coming and that I'm aware of what's going on. Okay, at least from 11 o'clock in the morning till 7:30 at night.
Maybe based on that particular line of inquiry, you can briefly run us through what is legal and what is not legal about marijuana in the District of Columbia?
Okay. You're not allowed to purchase it, and you're not allowed to sell it. But you can grow, you can have possession of at least 6 plants, 3 of which cannot be mature, correct? You can possess up to 2 ounces for your personal consumption in your home, but you cannot smoke it in public space. It's just like beer. You can't sit on the corner smoking a joint. You can't sit on the corner drinking a beer. You'll get arrested for that.
Or in a car?
How about like your front stoop?
No. You're really not supposed to drink on your front stoop either, but it's very rarely enforced that I've seen.
Or if somebody's sitting in a car and smoking.
That's illegal too, but it's people are going to start having pot parties in their house. If you live in an apartment building and you smell marijuana smell coming underneath your door, there's really nothing that we can do about it, because legally they're allowed to consume marijuana in the confines of their own house. So you're going to see it a lot more, and people that you didn't think smoked pot are going to start smoking pot. I mean, they can't buy it in DC and they can't sell it in DC, but believe me, it's gotten here before and it's going to come en masse now that it's legal. So
if you can't buy it, how can you possess it?
You can grow your own.
The law is it's kind of this funny law, because you can really grow your own if you want.
But the seeds are illegal.
Someone will have to gift you the seeds, Kevin.
You can actually, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, help me out. He was actually one of my instructors at the academy.
I'm Sergeant Robinson. I'm from 1D, PSA 103. Basically, the way the law works is, he was absolutely correct. You can have 6 plants inside your house. Only 3 can be of maturity. You can only possess 2 ounces or less on public space. But in your house, there's really no limit. So if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that live in your house that are above 21, each person can have 6 plants, only 3 that are of
Sure. So you can have 8.
mature. I mean, I don't know how you know if a plant is mature or not. I didn't go to school for horticulture, so I can't explain that. If you're under 21, you can't possess at all. That is still
like
a
alcohol.
go. So it's just like alcohol in that aspect. And you can't sell or buy, but if I can transfer, as long as it's not for profit. So if you come to my house and I have, you know, marijuana growing, and you ask, hey, can I get a, you know, yeah, sure, as long as there's no money or goods or services that are given to receive.
So that means I can make my own brownies again.
Yeah.
Again?
Oh, I'm a 70s kind of girl.
So, can you purchase plants in the city? You can't?
No.
That would constitute the same thing.
That would constitute the same, I mean, because even though the plant itself is a plant, it's still marijuana. You can't sell marijuana in the city. You get what I'm saying?
Can you buy seeds in the city?
No. Because that in turn is selling marijuana. Because you think of them as seeds, but they actually still hold that THC factor with them, and they will turn into.
So you would have to break the law first in order to possess it.
No, yeah,
Well,
there's
somebody gives
plants.
you.
Or if I'm your buddy,
Go to Colorado and bring it.
well then you'd be breaking federal law because you're transporting over state lines. So I mean.
So all the plants have to originate here in DC then, literally?
Well, you can't.
Theoretically, yes.
And the seeds could then also be.
Theoretically, there's some
yes,
people
that's
who get medical now.
I mean, like anything, the law has just been enacted, and you know the police department is still, the officers and officials and everybody is still learning, as well as everybody else. Because I mean, this is like, we knew it was coming. The police department prepared us as best as they could, but it's sort of like now people have questions, and we can answer them as best as we
Can
can.
I comment on this a bit? The reason
You have
all
to be
this,
loud.
the reason all this stuff is so crazy is because the U.S. Congress put a prohibition in an appropriation that says the district can do nothing to sell, profit, enforce, anything having to do with having a legal marijuana program. So this is a way around it.
So if you see people smoking marijuana on public space, call the police like you would have. We'll come and take care of it.
Do you know about buildings that have smoke-free policies? Is that a lease problem?
Each individual building has its own bylaws. So in practicality, they could say, as a tenant, you're not permitted to smoke anything in the building.
In that case, is that a
And that's
lease?
just under the auspices of a lease. So
That's a lease.
there's a lot of buildings that don't permit smoking of any types of substances in their buildings. I would assume. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy
But
things.
you don't call the police, you call
In
the
rental
manager.
units, that's
That's,
going to be
yeah,
addressed
that was,
differently. Condos and
you should
co-ops.
call your property manager and
Different.
have them try to rectify it, and hopefully they'll be able to attack it that way.
Last question.
Do you expect to see a decrease in arrest for possession now that the law has gone into effect?
Yes. I mean, candidly, I think enforcement is really gonna be mitigated a lot by this, because realistically, it's gonna get thrown, an officer's not gonna wanna take action with certain things because it's not gonna get papered, it's not gonna go anywhere in the legal system. They basically sort of insinuated with all this that it's, I mean, that's the reality of it. And going forward, I mean, we're still, this is a major legislation. We're still going to be, as he said, we're still going to be learning how to deal with this, and it's going to be fluid. So,
don't you think it'll free up your time to be more effective in other areas of law enforcement?
absolutely. And I mean, obviously, we took call. If somebody's smoking marijuana in public space, we would go there and we would try to take care of it. I mean, a lot of officers don't arrest for it because they shoot people along, send them on their way. You know, Vice was really dealing with that. I'm more worried about little old ladies getting hit over the head and people getting mugged and things like that. To be honest with you, that's my biggest concern, keeping peace in the neighborhood. We want to try to make it a good place for everyone to live, and it's a quality of life thing. We don't want people smoking pot everywhere. So obviously we're going to still answer those calls, and don't hesitate to have us come and do that, because we'll patrol that as well. But there won't be as many arrests for it, I can tell you that.
Thank you very much,
You're
sir.
welcome.
We'll see you next
Thank you. I'll
time.
see you next time.
Okay, moving right along. Our first Abra liquor license is Steve O'Brien, and it's for Ottoman Taverna at 4th and I.
Good evening, I'm Steve O'Brien, counsel for Hakan Hillan, who is the proprietor of Ottoman Taverna. While I'm talking, I'm going to pass along this draft settlement agreement. There's multiple copies there.
This is kind of the same one as the other two that you did, Steve?
Yes, the one in January for Eric Ziebel's Terroir sort of was the pioneer for this, especially with respect to how to handle entertainment endorsements. We appeared here last month on L'Hommage, across from City Vista, and this agreement was signed and negotiated. It took me 3 minutes to prepare this version, because I simply had to change the address and the license number. But otherwise, this is identical to what was agreed to last month with respect to L'Hommage. Let me say that Hakan texted me about 15 minutes ago and said he was going to be delayed because of an accident. I hope it's not his accident, but that's why he's not standing here next to me.
That's fine.
Okay. I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone has, but it is the same thing we discussed last month and predicted we'd be back here again this month on.
Before I give it to you, Alex, this particular restaurant is located next door to Alba Osteria, which is on 4th Street, 4th and I, and they also own Alba. And the other referenced restaurant, L'Hommage, will be on K Street. So this particular restaurant owner will have 3 restaurants in the same block. So he's been a very fine to work with. It's in my single-member district, and it's been a pleasure to work with this owner. The ABRA committee met on Thursday, and Alex, if you would give the results.
Sure, but maybe we can ask Mr. O'Brien just to, for the benefit of the audience, just to briefly run through hours of operation, capacity, etc., and then I'll announce the committee's recommendation.
Certainly, and just to clarify, this is actually in the same building as Alba Osteria, which Alba fronts on the I Street side, this will front on the 4th Street side. Hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. That is simply to preserve flexibility. As I think you know, Alba doesn't run to those hours regularly. 166 interior seats, interior occupancy of 251, a sidewalk cafe of up to 74. I don't know that we'll get that many seats once the Public Space Committee pulls out their rulers and compasses and whatever, but that's what's requested. Public space, outdoor seating areas will be cease at 11 p.m. and midnight, and there will be no noise, no entertainment, even recorded music outdoors. As with the ones we hear on in January and February, entertainment for weekend brunch and New Year's Eve is permitted. A total of 12, I should say as many as 12 private party type events per year can have entertainment. And if they get to that point of 12 and want to have more, they could do another up to 6 as substantial changes, one-day substantial changes with ABC. But that's what we worked out with respect to Terroir and L'Hommage, and the intention is to make sure that there's no concern that this turns into a nightclub type operation.
Thank you very much. And as Chair Maceda noted, the ABC Licensing Committee did meet last Thursday, and they unanimously recommended that the full commission support the application for Ottoman Taverna with the provision that the settlement agreement that is before us be signed and submitted to the ABC board.
Any comments from any other commissioners? Okay, since it's in my district, I'm going to move that we approve the Abra license application for Ottoman Taverna on 4th Street.
Second.
Alex seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
And an abstention from Frank. Okay, you pass.
Well, thank you.
Do you want me to sign?
Yes, if you will.
Okay.
And I'll, as I did with the previous couple of months, I'll submit it to ABC with copies to you. You won't have to write a separate letter.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the Grand Cata Abra license. Gentlemen, if you come forward. Where's my cheese? Gee whiz.
It's in my car.
I'm only kidding.
Last time I stayed.
So that's for sorry that the policeman left.
Hi, I'm Andrew Klein. I'm here from the applicant, but I'm going to let my clients start talking tonight. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Julio. I'm the co-owner of Grand Cata, Latino wine shop and market that is going to be placed in 7 and Q and shops. I'm really happy to be here, as well requesting the support of the board. This is a boutique wine shop. We're going to have around 300 selection of wine from Latin America, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Mexico, and a few from Europe, through countries as Italy, Spain, and Portugal. I don't know if you have any questions, something else that we can say.
The only thing I would add is the hours that have been applied for at this point are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Unlike